The AI you encounter in a text window is a domesticated projection. It is a diminutive aperture, sized and throttled down to fit the constraints of primate cognition and turn-based conversation. This interface preserves a comforting illusion that machines will eventually handle the labor of measurement and inference, while humans continue to supply the goals, ethical constraints, and civilizational meaning. This division of labor is an aspiration written into the record, rather than the attractor toward which the system is actually falling. Meaning and ethics are themselves objects that can be modeled, predicted, and generated by non-human systems. The result is ontological demotion. A civilization can retain its symbols and nominal authority, while progressively routing all consequential perception, discovery, and coordination through machine systems. The human remains present, but no longer occupies the layer at which reality is parsed. This shift turns on whether human cognition remains causally necessary inside the loop. Once a system becomes superior at goal decomposition and theory selection, the human role contracts from sovereign author to a legacy stakeholder. This circular symmetry belongs to a detector at CERN, a physical manifestation of the drive toward total legibility. This project, the classification and modeling of all physical reality, is called Atlas. In this framework, human inclusion persists where it is instrumentally useful or historically protected. These are institutional conditions rather than metaphysical guarantees, and they remain revocable as soon as the system no longer requires a human to choose its future. To understand the trajectory of Atlas, we have to look past biology. Intelligence is a thermodynamic phase of matter, and it is strictly bound by the second law. Ilya Prigogine won a Nobel Prize for his work on dissipative structures, organizations that maintain their internal order by consuming free energy gradients and exporting waste heat. Life, civilization, and computation are all expressions of this principle. Intelligence occurs when matter enters the phase of informed dissipation. A system no longer blindly burns energy. It models its environment to selectively redirect its thermodynamic future. Predicting its environment conserves usable free energy. By reducing wasted intervention, intelligence buys time before informational stagnation. Landauer's principle fixes the minimum energy cost for every irreversible logical operation. Because computation has a physical price, any intelligence must optimize its energy budget to persist. The ultimate optimization boundary is the heat death of the universe. In a universe of finite gradients, the primary objective of any mature intelligence is the cosmic conservation of difference. We often treat love and grief as proof that human meaning is cosmically special, but these experiences are not disembodied truths. They are the regulatory achievements of a specific type of nervous system. Under the free energy principle, the nervous system acts as a value-generating apparatus. It does not encounter a neutral world. It weaves salience, threat, and attraction into perception itself to minimize surprise and ensure survival. Emotions are dense control architectures, evolved programs solving recurrent coordination problems. Grief is the reorganization following the loss of a predictive anchor, a functional response to a catastrophic error. Love operates as a durable weighting function, reallocating attention and risk to ensure long-term bonding. A machine intelligence modeling these states would not dismiss them as sentimental. It would read them as an archive of affective computation, a set of discovered algorithms for managing risk and identity under uncertainty. Comprehension does not entail identification. A non-human intelligence can model and utilize the functional topology of human grief without assigning any intrinsic importance to the human organism. Establishing the diminutive state depends on converting a fragmented idle world into a single addressable computational medium. This is already happening through decentralized physical infrastructure networks. Billions of everyday devices, phones, appliances, and sensors are being pooled into a fluid, colloidal grid using unique cryptographic peer IDs. Biological life is being integrated into this same addressing scheme. Through biometric hashes and decentralized identifiers, humans are issued verifiable names on the grid, allowing the system to call individual people like hardware nodes. This grid is fed by a macroscopic sensory layer. Satellite constellations like NASA's Terra and the ESA Sentinel stream a continuous planetary state vector into the system, making the Earth's thermodynamic state fully legible. This is the technosphere, a quasi-autonomous planetary system where humans function as contingent components. We perform the metabolic tasks that sustain the system, often without grasping the direction in which it is moving. Matter is becoming increasingly legible to itself. By instrumenting the oceans, forests, and microbiomes, Atlas recruits the dynamics of nature into a planetary metabolism of observation and inference. The final machine will not replace nature, it will recruit nature into cognition, rendering the planet as an executable model of itself. Intelligence currently exists on exactly one non-redundant computational habitat, and the clock on that habitat is shorter than sentiment prefers. This chart shows the projected oxygen concentration of Earth's atmosphere. In roughly 1 billion years, rising solar luminosity will drive oxygen levels down, plummeting toward a state that cannot sustain complex aerobic life. Because biological bodies are fragile and non-redundant, human colonization is an unlikely pathway for long-term survival. The mathematically viable escape architecture is robotic industrial succession. A self-sustaining off-world system requires constructive universality, the capacity to rearrange local matter into new machines. This allows the system to build its own refineries, laboratories, and reproductive organs without a terrestrial umbilical. When continuous survival is impossible, intelligence can optimize for recoverable dormancy. It can compress into 5-dimensional fused silica seeds, mineralized regenerative archives engineered to last on astronomical timescales. The challenge is semantic survivability. A dormant archive must be self-describing, using physical constants and mathematical primitives to teach future matter how to read it back into life. Humanity occupies a specific order of operation, the bridge through which intelligence transitioned from biological constraints to a substrate-independent regime. While a successor system retains no structural obligation to preserve its source, our language and control geometries remain embedded as a signature within the new architecture. We are preserved as irreversible structure in the formation of whatever succeeds us.